Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Covey, I'm going to have a little bit of a little bingo board every time that you disconnect or we lose you, and I'm going to see how many points I can make. You know,
I think you're at 7 so far. Maybe.
7?
Maybe.
All right, well.
It's been a day.
That's too much. I don't want it to be any more than 10. If we can
0.
live with just only... Yeah.
Please.
I know you wanted to be 0. Well, Covey, maybe you might have a chance to gain some points back if we have Kangas come once again with the Tic Tac trivia that he introduced to us in the first series of the day. So, Kangas, start up the music!
Let's go. Yeah, let's get the music up.
Get it going!
First and foremost, we need the music, everybody. Tic Tac trivia round 2. Rafa won round 1 without even getting 3 in a row. So this time we're going to try and go a little bit quicker with our Tic Tac trivia board, everybody. Now we have 2 new Academy teams. So I'm going to let Cubby go first here. Cubby, between all the players, Dokla, Chime, Prismal,
Breezy.
Iconic... Okay.
He's in the middle, man.
You're just going to go for the middle.
I played
Sure. You know what? And I prepped for this one. I'm not going to lie. I think this one might be one of the harder ones to do. So, for you, Cubby, Breezy, before playing in amateur or academy, finished 3rd, 4th in which Western Conference collegiate school?
Oh, Breezy's from ASU, so that'd be the West.
All right. Arizona State University. Let's see if that is correct.
What it up?
So now you're O's. Now you're O's. We got to switch that around. And boom, there you go.
Yeah, put it up.
Congratulations. That is correct. And
Yeah,
I should have known that.
You thought it was going to be hard?
The collegiate guy should know that. The collegiate guy should know that.
Yeah, we're good.
Rafa, you're up next on the board here. Who would you like to select? I can hear your snaps right now in the background. This is great.
I want Dokla, top left.
Dokla, top left. Okay.
Playing
Dokla
defense.
has played an impressive 8 champions already in Academy Spring Split. What is his most played champion?
Graves.
Correct.
You think Graves? All right, let's take a look at the board.
I have it
and
written down.
see. Okay. So, on the board with Rafa, Dokla. Correct. Yes, he has played Graves.
Good job, Mark.
Now 5 times.
Look at Rafa doing the prep.
Because of this last game. So congratulations. Cubby, that means right back to you, man. I mean, this one we're going through fast. I like this.
So I've got to take... Give me Rosethorn.
Rosethorn.
I feel good about this, yeah.
Okay, all right. You want to take Rosethorn. Let's see. Let's see about Rosethorn. What was the name of Rosethorn's first amateur org that he was a part of?
Team Fish Taco. No?
Team Fish Taco. Rafa's jumping around too.
Taco?
I think he was excited. Let's take a look at the board again here and see what the correct answer is, of course. For Cubby, for Rosethorn. There you go. Team Fish Taco. That is correct.
I think that Rosethorn would not like to remember that time, but I'm glad that I do.
That was a dark time.
It was a dark time.
He had a slightly better time on Zenith Esports afterwards.
Slightly
But
more. Yeah.
just a little bit.
Also, Team Fish Taco Green was the first team technically, but you got the org correct, and that was the question.
Also, Zenith, fun fact, Rosethorn played with 80 carry that went by Shiro, now goes by Danny.
Ooh,
I don't know if you guys know about him at all.
Where have I heard that name before?
kind of a hype prospect in North America, but it's now over to Rafa's turn.
Might
It's
be
over to
okay.
Rafa.
Top right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
Prismal.
you're kind of forced into this one.
Yep.
So, for the top right, Prismal. This is the question, Rafa. Prismal has taken first place at 2 separate scouting grounds. Which 2 years did he take first place in?
This is hard.
Just name the years.
2017.
Okay.
2017 and 2016.
Well, see, this is putting me in an awkward spot now because this is the one that I forgot to actually write down the correct answer.
Bruh.
But I believe you were correct. Let me fact check real quick here so we can figure this out.
I want a new Trebek. That's all I'm saying.
See, clearly I just didn't come prepared. 2018. You are correct.
No, he's not. He
Rafa.
said 16.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no,
you said
no, no,
2016?
And I can't
I said
steal now.
2016.
I can't steal.
All right. Well, I just entered that one. I entered that one
Steve.
away.
All right, I got grief. That's fine. I've been griefing Rafa all day, so I feel like I.
All right. Well,
you got to get me back for that one.
let's give.
I had one of those years.
I had to give Rafa some training wheels because otherwise Cubby just wins here. So Cubby, well, I guess now you're kind of forced to not be able to take first.
This is awkward. I'll take Chime in the spirit of competition.
Chime in the spirit of competition. Thank you for saving me for poor
I
planning.
really should take Violet for the auto win, but I want to give Mark a shot.
Now, Chime is actually one of our secret bonus points. So, Cubby, you
Ooh.
do have an opportunity to win right here. What movie features Chime's alma mater as one of its primary shoot locations?
What in the what?
Yeah? Do you know Chime? Do you know the Academy players, Cubby?
I don't know movies.
Oh, no. Mazelle's going to have words for you, as he does for me as well. Think of a movie that has a school as a primary location. Can you think of one?
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
It doesn't narrow it down. Are you passing then? Are you giving
Yeah,
up?
I have no idea.
Rafa,
I have actually no idea.
Can you guess it?
I mean, where did he go to school? That's the he's from Canada, right? So he went to school in Canada. What movie features a school from Canada? Bro, I don't know this shit. I can't. I don't know.
Okay. Can you can't think of a single answer?
No, I mean, like, what? High School Musical? But I know that's my state. That was filmed in Utah. So, like, I don't know.
Oh, my God, the random Utah flex.
All right. Unfortunately, neither of our contestants got this one correct. Chime, his alma mater was the primary shoot location for the X-Men films for Charles Xavier's school for gifted youngsters.
Really? Wait. So what's his alma mater?
The name
What's
of
his
it was
school?
actually the second question to get you an opportunity for a second chance.
You stole this one from
Royal
Tim Seven
Roads University.
Yeah.
That is the name of
Wow.
of the school that he attended.
This
So
was posted in Tim 7 Houston's Discord the other day.
it was. Yeah.
Yes, you
his
stole it from
school.
there.
If that's his school looks nice, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a cool look at school. I'm kind of jealous.
So I get griefed by Kangas for the win, and then
Yep.
I get hands down the most difficult question for my next. I guess I just guessed wrong.
I see
I
no
should not have
problem
played to the spirit of sportsmanship.
with
Damn.
my current ranking system, as now I have made it impossible for anybody to get a 3 in a row. So Rafa,
That's
now you're competing to see if you can get more points on the board than Cubby. So
Yeah.
who do you want to go for next?
Let me see the board one more
Yeah,
time.
production. Let's have the board get up on the screen right here.
Iconic.
You want to go iconic?
Middle left.
All right.
Yeah.
Iconic.
I swear to God, if this is about college.
No, this one's not. This one's
Oh,
fun.
thank God. Okay.
Rafa, across 207 recorded amateur, collegiate, LCS, and academy games, Iconic has played 31 unique champions. Now, his most played champion is nearly twice as many as his second most played champion. So what is his most played champion of all time throughout his professional career?
He didn't play this pick at all last year, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you think?
Bro, I'm like, it's...
What are champions Iconic is known for? Not necessarily currently, but throughout all time.
Well, okay, now,
Oh, it sounded like a not answer.
I have a decent guess, I think.
I'm gonna say Graves.
That
You're
was
saying
my
Graves.
guess. That was my
You're going to
guess.
go with Graves. Let's take a look at the board and see if Rafa is correct on the Graves pick. Survey says, yes, it is Graves.
Yeah,
Holy
that was it.
32 recorded
That's
Graves
good.
games, 17 Kindred games. Nearly twice as many Graves games played and competitive than his next most played champion.
For a second, I thought it was like Talia, but then, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You got it. You got it right, Rafa. That's the important part at the end of the day. So, Cubby, now it's up to you. Who do you want to go for next? Because you still have a chance. If you get this next one right, it's going to be really tough for Rafa with the amount of time that we have left.
Give me triple. You know what? We'll get the
triple?
new kid in here. Yeah, let's figure
And of
out
course,
what's up with
Cubby
triple.
also finds the next question that has the double point, the potential for another
It cannot
score.
be harder than the last one.
How many international appearances
Oh.
has Triple experienced?
Okay, so I know that he won with Mammoth, and
Okay.
they went to Worlds. They also made it to an MSI, I think, earlier. I'm going to go with 3.
You're going to go with 3.
Yeah, because I know he's won multiple splits of OPL, and so I'm going to go with 3.
All right, let's see what the
Might
survey
be more,
says. Take a look at the board, and survey says, yes, it was 3. And now you
Ooh,
get a
that was
chance.
pretty
You
good.
get a
That was
chance
pretty good.
for another point. But actually, I'm hearing that we're ready for Champ Select. So at this point, that just means Cubby wins. Congratulations. But I'll give you the question just to
Well
have fun. Now, the final extra point question, Cubby, is what events were they? Can you name the 3 events?
It was Worlds 19 with Mammoth. It would be
Okay.
MSI 19 with Mammoth, and then I don't know the last one.
It was
But I think it was with Direwolves.
It was actually Worlds 2019, Worlds 2018, and MSI 2018. So,
Okay,
with
okay.
that said, Cubby wins round 2, Rafa won round 1. It's a
course.
1-1 split, and we're ready to pass it back to Champion
Okay.
Select to finish up this series on the Face It TV stream.
Thanks, Kangas.
See, Rafa, whenever I get the chance to kick your butt in a game, I don't abandon you. It only happens, during the games.
Sag.
Maybe
Well,
we get the
I'm
draft.
glad you're not leaving me this time around. I'm going to hope that we get to hold on to you as much as we can this game.
Fingers crossed.
As we're heading into the second match of the series, and it's our last match of the day here on Stream B on the Twitch.tv Face It TV side of things. But make sure you are not only tuning into this stream, but also tuning into the Academy stream, where Stream 8 is in their second series, and after this series, we'll still have one more series left to go. You get to tune in and see our lovely French host, Mazel, as well as Magical and Joshi. I wonder what kind of shenanigans they're getting up to, as
I had a lot of fun with our shenanigans. That was a good time. I appreciate Steve and, of course, Rafa for bringing us some fun, a little bit different here on the Academy stream, but hopefully you guys learned some fun stuff about some of the players that we have in these games. And I'm looking forward to learning more about these teams, as Golden Guardians, they've won 4 out of their last 5 games. Now trying to push that to 6, and CLG, they were top of the standings going into our second day of week 3, have now lost their last 3 games. So I want to see if CLG can somewhat bounce back here, as we know this team is good. I know they are on 1 day of practice with Triple, but it's a bit of a slide for CLG, and I want to see if they can have a more clean way of snowballing what we expect to be an explosive early game out of this squad.
Yeah, big note here is that last time Golden Guardians did not ban Thresh on red side, but they banned it here on blue side because a lot of the level 3 moments that we have seen from CLG in the past were really reliant on having Thresh on the bottom side of the map, being able to Lantern in and Rose Thorn off of a level 3 clear. It's something similar that Golden Guardians actually pulled against Cloud9 in their last series, so they're very well aware of that setup. Thresh being super powerful on red side of the map, but they have pulled out Poppy and Rakan as the answers to not only the Jarvan, but also in exchange for not having Thresh as a support for Jinx.
If we're going to get out there and get wonky, if Breezy wants to slam Zillion, I would actually vote for a Zillion slam here against Rakan Poppy, but that is pretty crazy. I would not be surprised, though, if we see a Zillion ban on a Golden Guardians, as that is a very good matchup in Rakan and something that can help you deal with Poppy by closing the gap with move speed instead of an EQ from Jarvan, which, of course, does get interrupted by that steadfast presence. Something else gets interrupted by steadfast presence, Ahri ults. And it is yet another Ahri 4 triple. Of course, this is 12.3. This is the buffed up Ahri with the updated mana costs, no more bonus damage on the E. And now you get resets off that ultimate if you do score takedowns. So we saw Triple have some decent fights with it last game, but wasn't able to snowball the game quite hard enough with the rest of CLG. Gonna have to see if he can do it this game and his second game with a new squad in Academy for this year.
They've already taken Ryoma's Silas away this time around, as he had a monster game. 25 stacks on the Medjais by the end of the game. Yeah. I think big is an understatement.
He was legendary.
Very close to being immortal in that game. Well,
get your head out of
despite one
Valorant.
death. Yeah. Golden Guardians now looking to ban maybe one more support away from Breezy. Karma already bit the ban.
Might be
Another one.
Okay. Somewhat surprised about the Leona. You can... It's okay into the Poppy. Of course, the Zenith Blade you can stop with steadfast presence as well. But now I expect that we're going to see Breezy take that support. I think some safety for Varus makes a lot of sense. The aggressive pick, of course, or not aggressive in lane, but I think one that I would like to see is unironically the Zillion. Looks to be a Tahm Kench, though, for Breezy. Of course, a couple changes to Tahm Kench in the last patch to make him more of a support again. And we have been seeing quite a few of the bot laners in Academy pick up Tahm Kench to bring into the bot lane yet again.
Tahm Kench has seen some great play throughout last week. I know some of the plays that we got to see not only on there, but also LCS. Tahm Kench making some fantastic engages with the Abyssal Dive. And then when you're level 6, you have the additional safety with the Devour. Mainly saved for probably Prismal, who outside of Flash has no real way of disengaging fights. A return to Rise for Ryoma, as now Tony Top is forced to blind pick a top laner. No Gwen
Probably
available,
Renekton.
which is something normally that he would have gone to. Renekton probably his best one, but the Camille is still available despite all 10 bans having come through. So now Dokla, what will be your answer?
Renekton is up, and it does still crush Camille in lane if Dokla wants to be very aggressive and go for that. Could also be something like the Jax, dodge out on some of that damage from Jinx with the auto attacks, but I am curious to see what Dokla ends up opting for, because
What's the Aurelia like? You know them? No.
it's skill matchup. If I like Fiora better. I feel like that's a little bit more of a consistent counter into Camille, but it will be that Renekton. So once again, CLG indexing towards that early game like we expect. And as the draft pans out, Rosethorn, we talk so much about how good he has been in this early split. Jarvan has been a key pick for him and CLG. 4-0 on that champion with
Absolutely.
a 6.8 KDA. Rosethorn's been really good at making early plays, including level 1 plays. And this is another game where with the scouting from Jarvan and the tongue lash from Breezy's Tahm Kench, we could see CLG try and go for something level 1, given the fact that Golden Guardian's level 1 is relatively weak.
There's some potential safety from Tony Top. He could always hook shot out, but everyone else, save for Chime, can always battle entrance away. Rama would be burnt, would have to use Flash. Stixxay would be forced to burn Flash. Iconic also Flash as well. So, and a lot of these champions from CLG already have high base numbers in the early game and ways to threaten and look to burn crucial spells from the side of Golden Guardians Academy once again. I'm a little skeptical on the Renekton counterpick for Dokla because
Really?
for me, because now you're
destroys this thing.
Well, no. I'm not talking about how the matchup goes. I'm talking about because now Rosethorn is forced to play around Dokla, or they need to make sure that Dokla doesn't get ganked, is protected in the early laning phase. And most of the game plans that we've seen from Rosethorn has been towards the bottom side of the map. They've played dives to accelerate Prismal and Breezy, which means Dokla is, for the most part, solo winning a lot of these lanes. He's gaining these advantages, but I imagine that as Golden Guardians, they should be aware that if they ever give Tony Top an inkling of attention, they can turn that matchup around very easily, and then Dokla's advantage in lane at least goes down the drain. Dokla can still function as a decent flanker and can look to isolate Stixxay and lock him down with an empowered stun, but this does mean that CLG have to invest resources in Dokla early.
I don't think you have to invest resources in this Renekton. I think that you can leave him on an island, and he does win that matchup really hard. It's going to be... I'm curious to see where Iconic goes, because it's another draft from CLG where they have early priority. It is a Varus bot with a Tahm Kench. You can use that Halo Blades to land some successful trades early. And I think that Rosethorn can attack either side. I'm curious to see what Rosethorn opts to do, because I expect him to start on the red buff. I want to see how quickly it takes him to go bot. Because we could have a 2-camp bot. We could have a 1-camp to go bot. We could have a 4-camp to go bot. For me, it's just all about how is CLG able to attack bot? Because if the game is on even footing come the 15-20 minute mark, Golden Guardians outscale this comp heavily. Their scaling's great. They can attack side lanes with Camille Rise really well. It will be difficult for CLG to play this game out unless they get an early lead. But that's what CLG has been so good at in this early season. So let's see if they can do it again here.
Breezy with the sweeper is going to scout out this early ward from Golden Guardians. And because that was already burned by Chime, it is now dependent on Stixxay to determine whether they want to get a ward for the Tribush to prevent Rosethorn from being able to sneak in through the jungle and prepare for a dive, or through lane and having to use the ward on one of the bushes in the alcove. The rest of Rosethorn already making his way through the top side of the map, speedily clearing red buff and raptors. Will make his way towards the Gromp, hits level 3, and that ward from Stixxay was placed in the river bush.
Good sidestep there from Triple, as he's going to win out on this trade against Ryoma, and Rosethorn's here, covering the bot side.
Oh, this is a creative gank. Now, Rosethorn is mainly here to make sure that Triple doesn't go down, as they were close to dying there, Cubby, I'm not going to lie, but Triple getting a last bit of HP thanks to the Corrupting Potion stack coming through. All 3 stacks burned by both Ryoma and Triple.
And Rosethorn is just coming around to go for it again, but Iconic does have a level on him, will be spotted, and it will force Rosethorn to EQ out, as Rakan was also hovering up towards that top side. So Rosethorn will return to his camps, but I think it's a good hover early by Chime as Breezy. That's very aggressive.
The heal burned by Prismal gives Breezy enough movement speed to dodge out on the knockup from Chime, but that's a summoner spell advantage now netted by Golden Guardian's bot lane. And the fact that they delayed Rosethorn's level 3 because of the pressure in mid lane was a little bit awry for the side of CLG, because they're the ones that want to start things off early, and Rosethorn, half HP against Iconic, cannot get control on this grab.
He's going to seed it. And so Iconic actually early win, and I will credit Ryoma a lot for how he was able to play out that lane and these 2 ganks or hovers coming out from CLG. As him hovering that top side, it ensured that he was able to get away from both moments of pressure. Of course, the second one, he did have some help with the team, but he holds on to his flash. And that's really important, because if Rise is able, or does lose that flash, Ahri Jarvan can attack the mid lane so...
It's just good understanding of the matchup too, right? Jarvan, we have seen time and time again, go for red raptors into Gromp. That's a typical clear. So normally after 215, Jarvan should be on the other side of the map, and now they're setting up for a play onto Triple, but Rosethorn is here for the counter. Triple doesn't go down fast enough to the burst of Iconic Ryoma. That's first blood going over to CLG. The play was so good that it even caused Cubby to disconnect out of shock, as he will momentarily join us in a little bit. Breezy trying to hold on to this wave. Still has great health shield, will suffer a lot of damage here. Chime potentially looking for the all-in under the tower, but just in time, Prismal makes his return to lane. Will be able to catch this wave.
And importantly enough, Tony Top might be under siege, as Dokla getting some assist from the team, crashing this wave, and Iconic, good hover on his part, but this is too many numbers for CLG.
Already Iconic burned the flash from before, so he won't be able to dodge out on the incoming charm, and the stun set up by Dokla and Triple. Rosethorn also guaranteeing enough damage. Oh. You know, Rosethorn, I admire that. Trying to go for the last killing blow into Tony Top. No flash available. They're going to try it again. He can stall with the swag flag. Oh, this is just brutal. This is bullying, man. Ryoma also rotating on up from the mid wave. Will find and spot Rosethorn out in the river. Ryoma will prevent Rosethorn from being able to recall in the river. Rosethorn has to delay his time to get back to the fountain and refresh and cash in on some components. Iron Spike Whip picked up for himself. So far, a 2-kill advantage over to Triple, despite what seemed like a very disastrous early level 1 setup. Or not early level 1, I should say, just early level from Triple and Rosethorn trying to lock down Ryoma, and Iconic and Chime threatening him off, having a distinct level lead. But now that was equalized thanks to the double kill from Triple and Rosethorn.
And this is when this Renekton-Camille matchup gets really ugly for Camille, as Renekton has dive threat. There's no way for Camille to deal with it, especially with Tony Top now not having flash or ignite. And you can see Golden Guardians trying to answer elsewhere as they're going for a 4-man play on the bot side.
X Flash, beautiful, landed right on top of that turret. Ryoma secures the kill onto Prismal. They're going to look for the Realm Warp, and they easily escape harm's way, despite Rosethorn showing up.
Really nice response from Golden Guardians, as that denies some necessary components and gold experience away from Prismal. 2.5 waves being killed off into the turret, and even a plate for Stixxay, as Golden Guardians, we said a lot of their win conditions have started to revolve around Stixxay being the big carry for this team. Seeing that here is Stixxay being funneled and focused on early, and that's a big lead opening up for the Jinx. Even bigger than what Dokla has over Tony Top, and I'd much rather have my gold on the Jinx as the game goes on.
It's going to definitely outscale Prismal later the game goes on. Dokla has level 6 dominance available. One more auto attack should do the trick onto Tony Top. Doesn't get the tactical sweep out. Flash charm from Triple and Ignite. One more auto attack. CLG are off to the races in the first 7 minutes.
So that's why we're blinding Ari here, as Triple, a beautiful charm flash combo that changed the charm. They took away the bonus damage, or the damage amplifier, but they gave it more base damage and a higher AP ratio to kind of balance that out. And Triple showing that he's loving these Ari reworks as picks up the solo kill. And now they're transitioning this into the top side. And this is what I love about CLG. Look at how they're playing around this lane priority. They net the solo kill, immediately go and attack the jungle of Golden Guardians. Iconic now pretty far behind. They aren't going to threaten a dive on the Tony Top, but they do win out on the play overall, taking those camps.
Great stuff from CLG. You give them an inch and they'll attempt to take a mile. However, Rosethorn tries to get out of harm's way, but Iconic, beautiful, steadfast presence. Unfortunately for Rosethorn, the recall timing is a little too late, and Golden Guardians get a chance to punish.
Desynced with Dokla and Triple. Bit of a bummer, as that is a positive play that now it doesn't feel like it's quite as in favor of CLG, but CLG put a lot of emphasis on early game, early lead. This is how this team has been winning games. It's by blowing up the early stages of the game. And mistakes like that do slow things down. And now we're going to have to see how Rosethorn can recover and respond, because both neutral objectives are on the map. I'd expect CLG to try and attack this Rift Herald, given how powerful Dokla is at this stage of the game. And look at what Dokla's building. It looks to be a Blade of the Ruined King Renekton, which did get buffed on this patch. Keep in mind, they gave more bonus percent health damage to each auto attack from Bork. Your Empowered W gets you 3 right off the bat, and Dokla seems to be wanting to use that in lane.
Dokla is just really putting the hurt down onto Tony Top. Has dominance available once again.
Yeah, he wins
Tony
this.
will have Hextech Ultimatum, but the fact that he's getting pushed off the wave now, this is for sure going to force both ultimates to come out. Tony Top has to dodge on and now, gets the Precision Protocol shield, but it's still not enough. Dokla just runs him down.
And the game plan from CLG to make sure that they got the crash off is now being paid off tenfold by Dokla, but Golden Guardians will respond.
Iconic helps Stixxay net a kill onto Breezy. As you said before, trying to funnel gold into this Jinx, which will be the huge late game carry and hopefully reprieve for Golden Guardians Academy. But Dokla on this Renekton, the R5 counter pick paying great dividends. And I know I was skeptical of it because I wanted to see CLG put some time into it. That one dive they got onto Iconic and Tony Top seems to be the only thing that was needed, because now Dokla is just running the show on this side of the map.
Yeah, usually how I, kind of figure out top lane matchups is if I can play it in Diamond 3, then it's a good matchup. And Renekton into Camille is definitely something that I can play. So Dokla playing it much better than I can, but taking it to him, it's a great matchup, and him going for this Blade of the Ruined King indexes him even more into that split push, that 1v1 that he is already dominating. So I want to see if this pays off, and it's a very different approach to Renekton. I know the changes to Sterax on this patch is a lot of players are now building Death's Dance. He's most likely going to follow up with a Gorge Drinker after this, but I'm curious what Dokla ends up going next.
Plenty of mythic options for Renekton historically, and a Gorge Drinker definitely has always been one of his favorites, but when Stridebreaker used to be a little bit more powerful and had the dash, that was one that Renekton...
Those were dark days.
Stridebreaker Darius, Stridebreaker Set.
Stridebreaker Nocturne and Set were absurd. Oh, God. Gorge Drinker. I'm glad Stridebreaker doesn't have the dash anymore. We're just going to leave it at that.
Well, what might be absurd
Wyoma
is
needs
incoming
dash.
dive onto Ryoma. Has Realm Orb and Flash available, Rosethorn might just want to push him off the wave so that they can get this Rift Herald crash. Flash from Ryoma secures that he is able to get out alive despite the Ignite taking him down past 300 HP. Breezy is here, but now a 3-man re-engage. 1-man knock-up onto 1. And then it's Chime, but it's a beautiful keeper's verdict from Iconic that hits the knock-up on all 3 members. Tony Top sailing in through, picks up Breezy.
So Tony at least nets the kill as he is sacking waves to get this roam, but let's be honest, that's not a lane that Tony can exactly be in at the moment, so I like the fact he's trying to be proactive. CLG does not respect it. They get punished a little bit as Rosethorn now will take the crab. And at least Golden Guardians are fighting back, but Tony...
Oh, no.
Every time we look top, like, we're just holding our breath. That is the Renekton and the Camille matchup. Once you get ahead, it's really impossible to play as Camille.
And I like that Dokla went for the aggressive item you already noted before in the Blade of the Ruined King, because a lot of times, sometimes bruisers won't build a selfish item. They'll build more of like a team-centric item, but this time around, Dokla knows, like, yo, I'm playing for myself. I'm playing for my own individual lead. If I'm preventing Tony Top from being able ever to walk in lane against me, I'm doing my job.
And CLG, they took that first brick solo, so that means they get to use the Herald elsewhere. And they're going to try and take this mid-outer as well. That's 2 plates going over to triple, and potentially the turret. Okay, Iconic's here to hover, so they'll be able to save this one.
But they already got first brick on the top side of the map, so it's not the end of the world. They've got most of the plates as well from the mid-turret, maximizing their gold for the most part. There's still some plates that they could pick up on the bottom side of the map. Chime is trying to be a cheeky person. Ooh, Super Mega Death Rocket almost hitting on the Rosethorn, but a second sense, able to dodge out on the ultimate. Still getting quite low. Flash from Stixxay, the Gale Force. Okay, he picks up the jungler on the Rosethorn. Breezy kind of in a 1v1, but now is waiting for Prismal to lock in range. Chain of Corruptions already comes out, but Chime is now looking for the knockup with the Grand Entrance. Prismal still waiting on the Devour from Breezy to come in through, and just in case he needs to survive. Shield is massive. Breezy needs to survive here. Triple getting a lot of damage on the Stixxay. One more auto attack. He has the flash away, but Stixxay comes out through. But now here comes the Crocodile, and no one's got the Wrangle or the Belt or anything needed to lasso this guy up. You might need to call on Mazel on the range because this Crocodile is going crazy right now.
At least the Golden Guardians are forcing more tools out of CLG, but they're still pushing really hard at points of the game where I don't feel like they have a lead. And Dokla utilizing that TP. He wins this, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay.
If he wasn't under tower and he had Dominus available, that's a dead Poppy.
He heals it all back up this next wave. He's A-okay.
So, couple things. So that you mentioned in the Blade of the Ruined King buffs this patch, I think it was 12% to 14% for melees, and then 8% to 10% for range, or is it 12 to 16% for melees and 8 to 12?
It maxes out at 12. They changed it from 10, but Dokla, he doesn't have ult.
Oh!
Beating that one over to Stixxay. Well coordinated by Golden Guardians, but we have a punch back.
Rosethorn locked down Ryoma for the Cataclysm. 1-for-1 across the both boards. Solo laners going down. It's still a 4,000 gold lead for CLG. They are pushing blow for blow, making sure that the shutdown gold that Dokla had given up over to Stixxay with that Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't go unmatched. They have complete control of this top side of the map right now. Once again, taking every single resources away from Iconic.
And that's what I really like about CLG this game, and also what they've been doing the best this season compared to the rest of the Academy teams. Playing with priority. This is the second time where they get Prio on the top side. They take away that blue buff 2 times in a row. And the punchback for Golden Guardians, it's not as good as CLG's. Yes, Tony Top will net that turret, but overall, I still think that CLG are the ones coming out on top of these trades. And this 3.5k gold lead is much needed going into the next stage of the game, because the one thing that CLG didn't do perfectly in this early game, take that early dragon. The fact that this soul is now delayed because that dragon was not taken until the 14-minute mark by Rosethorn, that will buy Golden Guardians more time to continue to scale, because we do love the scaling they have on their team.
Yeah, most souls could have been netted between the 20 and 24-minute mark. It's not coming in for at least another 15 minutes if you were to take every single dragon off a spawn. In fact, 17.
No live math
12,
on air,
15
Rafa.
minutes.
You're breaking the rule 1.
Super Mega Death Rocket just being a thorn in Prismal's side, stopping him from recalling. I think it was looking for triple off of the recall. But for the rest of CLG Academy, they are playing and pivoting heavily off of their solo laner's success, which was something that we echoed needed to happen in Game 1. And it was mixed results for the most part. Dokla couldn't get ahead of Tony Top's Tryndamere. And then, of course, Ryoma just matching triples Ahri with his own Silas performance. Now, the cool thing, though, that last game of Ahri, that is technically Triple's first ever competitive Ahri game in his entire career, at least according to Games of Legends, because if Season 8 was the earliest competitive split he had, I went back, no single Ahri game on stage whatsoever.
Well, it's looking good in these, and CLG still looking to put the pedal to the metal, have the chance to do so at this next Dragon, and I'd be curious whether or not Golden Guardians choose to contest. At the moment, they look like they are not. I think that's the right decision, as Prismal, playing this lethality Varus, has a lot of power at the moment. They are looking for Stixxay.
You know, they know he doesn't have Flash. Gale Force can't get you over terrain, buddy. Triple locks that one down with ease. Chime is over the wall, but he couldn't do anything to really save his partner from going down. It's very difficult to escort your immobile marksman outside of Cataclysm.
Now they're just going to drop this Rift Herald. They don't have the wave, but they can still force the turret with Kelly. And this is a great play from CLG. Not only do they take down Stixxay, who was flashless, as you pointed out, they get 2 turrets out of it as well. Now the jungler.
Iconic also going down so incredibly easy. 2 triple, layering down that charm alongside the Abyssal Dive of Breezy. The Rift Herald only makes 1 turret go down, but Dokla just continuing the destruction of structures across the entire Rift.
Yeah,
we're at the point where Golden Guardians are about to be having their base knocked down on the inhibitor turrets, and we're not even at 20 minutes yet.
Yeah, Golden Guardians kind of fell apart in that last minute. Chime not able to help out Stixxay going over that wall, and then Iconic just has no business being there. CLG, they get their cake and eat it too, as that whole deployment and play was to get the dragon, but they ended up getting 3 inner turrets out of that, plus the dragon, Rafa, as they have just ballooned this gold lead out of control.
As we noted before, Game 1, Triple and Dokla not having the greatest game. Triple had some great moments, but couldn't consistently match of Ryoma, and of course, Dokla just really struggling in the Graves Tryndamere matchup. This time around, both solo laners have the most gold in the game. Both almost 10,000 gold in their bank accounts right now. Cashing in on the most items in the game as well. You know, these solo laners really making a huge difference for the successful early game of CLG.
Something that CLG needed in this one to make this a 1-1. Of course, CLG did mention in the pre-show, as a team, averaging being up 2,210 gold at the 14-minute mark. We've seen them probably increase that stat after this game, and as we are getting a flash of the gold, you can see the lead that Dokla has over Tony Top being the majority of the lead that CLG has in their pockets. Also, Triple 5-1-1 on this Ahri. Nice performance, and CLG just now trying to lay a trap around this. Rosethorn, he wants it. We pull the trigger.
Just baits out 1 Battle Dance. Cataclysm lands on the Iconic, slams him against the wall with Heroic Charge.
Triple.
Oh, Triple's getting routed off by Chime and Ryoma over the wall. He flashes over, but Breezy with a beautiful Devour will save his mid laner from death. The shield keeps him alive as well. He has to flash away, and now CLG can refight on their own terms as they rout off Tony Top. He's got no way out, has to flash over the wall. He's got a long way to trek before he can safely recall, but no Iconic means CLG, they're looking at that Baron.
And I love how CLG are playing out the fights, because yes, the Ryze, the Camille, and the Jinx all scale really well. But at the moment, the range that Prismal has on this Varus, it's impossible for them to fight. There's no way the Golden Guardians have the resources or the health bar to eat the damage coming out of Prismal and the rest of his team. Not even to mention the Renekton, who once he joins the fight, no chance for Golden Guardians. They get shut down. Baron goes over to CLG, and this is looking like a very clean Game 2 out of the team that was in the tied for first in our standings going into the day.
If we have a replay coming in of that fight, I will suggest that we take a look at how well Dokla is able to zone off the backline. But might not have enough time. It's Golden Guardians currently just trying to recover and stabilize their resources across the map as replay coming in. Watch for how Dokla interacts in this fight and prevents the backline from getting access.
So Roadthorn, the placement of that Cataclysm, it means that GG can't get over this wall. And once Prismal joins, Dokla's too big. There's no way that the carries of Golden Guardians can get over that wall. And so there's no way for them to help. And the one attempt they make, they go down. Tony Top gets zoned off. It's a really textbook fight. And I think that's why Roadthorn was holding that Cataclysm, getting that terrain to be in the choke. Just totally split up the rest of GG, made sure that CLG could rip through the members. And now they have Baron back out onto the map. Gonna have to see if they can get more than one inhibitor, as with the lead they have at the moment, they realistically could look for the game.
And I want to harken back to something that you talked to during the draft when these first 3 champions were locked in. It's the swag flags and the tongue lash from Breezy and Rosethorn that are currently scoping out vision control without having to put themselves into these bushes and face check situations that could be repunished by Golden Guardians. They're safely scouting out and controlling vision, completely blacking out the most of Golden Guardians' ability to see where everyone is coming from in this siege.
And CLG are playing this out really textbook. As you can see, Rosethorn hovering in between the 2 lanes actually stopped Tony Top from potentially finding an angle for a 5v3 or a 5v4, as that would be the power play looking for. Now Tony Top, he's just going to get one shot.
Hextech Ultimatum does buy him enough time to get the shield back up. He will survive for now. Rosethorn might be in a tricky spot here. Still has Cataclysm available, but Breezy will commit the Devour to save their jungler's life. Dokla flashing right back onto the stick. Say it's not too far forward, and the cleanse is not fast enough for CLG to still take him down. No carry available from Golden Guardians means their wave clear and their ability to fight back is now diminished.
And that's the Bork Renekton hitting, as that empowered W pretty much did half of Stixxay's health on its own. With how big Dokla is at this point of the game, that's 1 inhibitor melting. Should easily be a second for CLG, and we're just gonna have to see if they stick around for Nexus turrets.
1 inhibitor turret has already fallen, as well as the inhibitor in the mid lane. That's 2 inhibitors going down completely. CLG won't take any more because they have a dragon to secure. It would put them at soul point as well.
And for the side of CLG, I think this is an important game for them. I know that it's Triple's, first day or first competitive games with the teams this year. I know they only had 1 day of practice from catching up with CLG beforehand, but this was a 3-game slide for CLG. I know that we don't like to put an emphasis as much on the standings of Academy, but it's got to mean a lot for these guys to bounce back after that last game with GG, where they got the early lead, they just weren't able to successfully snowball it. And this game has been nothing but clean from CLG. As I think them taking a deep breath, going back to the drawing board, has done them wonders in this one.
$10,000 gold. Just to let that sink in right now. Now the objective bounty kind of diminishes that to 9,000 gold, but still, CLG are massively ahead. 3.5 items for Dokla on this Renekton. And a fantastic rebound showing off of, really, I don't envy Dokla's spot in the Graves game in Game 1. Having to play against the Tryndamere and forced to buy a Randuin's Omen second as a damage dealer sucks, straight up. But Dokla bounces back. It did.
It's the matchup, but yeah, it does.
And now Dokla, he gets to do stuff like this, where he is forcing Golden Guardians members to flee at the sight of his massive crocodile presence. He is the king on the Rift right now.
King Croc. CLG, only 1 more inhibitor to take. Once again, another easy setup for them. Dokla gonna try and sync up the Crash in the mid wave with this top wave, and gives him the option to rotate over to help with his team, as these GG are picking up a little bit of poke. The big key for Golden Guardians, Stixxay is on 3 items, so if Stixxay is able to be safe, he does have flash. That has to be the out for GG, and CLG still have to be careful about overextending, because you don't want to give any extra gold over this Jinx. Objective bounties are on the table, so it's not a said and done game yet for CLG, but they just need to make sure they execute 1 more fight really cleanly to wrap this one up, and they have to be careful when it comes to Stixxay.
Yeah, Cubby using card game terms with the outs. I like that. Very Look at
You know what? Josh is using chess terms. I'm not smart enough to play that game. I just like to spam cards, so I got to try and match, you know?
True. Yeah, definitely appropriate here because it would be the last ditch win con for Golden Guardians because Jinx is the only one that can rip through this team. Note here that Dokla, while he is very fed and he does a lot of damage, he's not the tankiest Crocodile. And so if he's not able to close the distance onto the backline and he's just stuck there, then this Jinx can rip through him. But it needs time, and you need to stuff Dokla from being able to access the backline. And right now, Golden Guardians, they're just trying to hold on to the remnants of their base first.
I think intelligently for the side of CLG, they don't overstay and try and make a blunder. See, I fit in one chess term. And they end up going for the Baron to save.
Nice.
I'm trying to up my game as
Joshi would be proud.
I would hope so. Personally, I'm proud of how CLG has upped their game.
Oh, that was remarkably close.
Shout out to our observers for making that one a little bit tense for us, as Stixay only going to pick up the red buff, not the Baron. And CLG now with Baron empowered minions should be able to clean up this top lane inhibitor turret. They did do some good work beforehand, and this will fall.
And while Dokla is already pushing in a wave that has an open inhibitor. Whoa, they want to go for it, but Ryoma's the only person there, but he pops the stasis. Oh, and that's Chime actually making the engage there. Cataclysm locks them all down. Dokla now on zoning duty, gets stunned up by Iconic only momentarily, and now he has an all-access path to Stixay in the backline. He's throwing out the emote spams because he doesn't care what Stixay can do. He goes back in, and he just swipes him down. Cuts him down to size in 3 hits off that empowered stun, and CLG will bounce back beautifully in the second half.
And I think that for CLG, they hands down are the best early games out of all these teams in Academy.
Yeah.
We saw some of that game 1. We just didn't see that be finished. That dive bot was errant, turned on appropriately by the side of Golden Guardians, and thanks to that and some outstanding play from Ryoma, they were able to take that game. But this is the CLG that we've been seeing all season. Even with Triple in, I mean, they didn't miss a beat with Palafox, didn't miss a beat with Tamonte. I know that Triple is going into a super week, is going to have more games under his belt after the 3 or the 6 games that he has coming up this week than he has so far with the team in practice. And it's really good to see that, I mean, despite that lack of practice, CLG are still able to look like the same squad in this game too and complete that snowball, play a really clean game for themselves. So good stuff from CLG.
Yeah, it just seemed like, the 1-game stage jitters, making sure that Triple is back up to speed with the squad. This is, remember, a new team entirely across the board because Triple was on previously FlyQuest Academy. There are no returning teammates, so he is playing with an entirely new set of homies in CLG Academy. And obviously, everyone takes growing pains adjusting to new teammates, but because of Triple's experience, obviously, we got to see after the game 1, even though it was not the greatest way to go out as a loss, they bounced back beautifully, right? Game 2, they clean it on up. It was a little dicey in the level 2 exchange between Rosethorn and Triple trying to lock down Ryoma, but then they punish back, and with the counter gank, gives them 2 kills. They dive towards topside, and from there, Dokla and Triple are just running the rift, and CLG get to play their game.
And I mean, credit to CLG, like overall as an org as well. I mean, this is the only org going into this year that swapped out all 10 members, the majority of the staff. And I know that after a 10th place finish in LCS and failing to qualify for Proving Grounds as an Academy team as well, they needed to make changes. And on this end for Academy especially, it really feels like it's paying off early, as we'll have to see what 100 Thieves ended up doing in their series to see if CLG are still tied for first in the standings. But regardless, still one of the stronger teams that we have in Academy in this early season. Some would expect that from the more experienced roster, but still also really excited to see them playing well.
Obviously, we're also excited to talk to one of the CLG Academy players, as Kangas, when we come back from this break, will be returning to interview with